Good morning, fifth graders. I am back with your vocabulary and writing lesson for today with my assistant, Sarah. She really wanted to be in this video, and so I told her she could sit in and listen to my instruction for today. So, our first vocabulary word is the word interpreter. An interpreter is a noun, and it's found on page 84. And in the text, it says, "One day I went ashore with Diego Columbus and a native who is working as an interpreter for us. The captain gave Diego a bag of brass rings, glass beads, and bells, and told him to see what trading he could do." Now, this text talks about an interpreter who came with them, and it doesn't give us a whole lot of context maybe for what that might mean. So in these cases, we like to see if we know any of the words. I know what interpret means, and it means to understand. And a lot of times the ER on the end means a person who. So it's going to be a person who understands things. At the bottom of the page, it says Columbus stood by looking pompous and arrogant as he waited, but the interpreter with us turned pale and began to shake. He told the captain to go back to the Santa Maria at once, that they were planning to kill us. Ooh, there's a clue. Maybe it is telling us that the interpreter understands what the natives are saying. And that is exactly what this means. Is an interpreter is a translator. It's someone who takes something from one language and puts it into another. So if you are trying to speak to someone in a different language, you might have a translator or interpreter there who can change it from one language to the other. My sample sentence says, "My brother-in-law has to serve as an interpreter so we can communicate with his Chinese fiance." And that is a completely true sentence. My brother-in-law teaches English in China, and he is getting married, and we were actually supposed to go to his wedding over spring break until all of this mess happened.
Yeah, we were.
We were going to go to China. And so we'll be going to China a different time here soon.
In the summer.
In the summer, yeah. All right, please pause the video and write your own sentence now. All right, the next word is the word meager, and it is an adjective also found on page 84. And it is, I just saw it. There we go.
Right there.
It says, "Their eyes were distrustful and their bodies were painted red with bundles of feathers and darts hanging from them. When we finished with our meager trade, they gathered at the stern of our small boat in the river, and one began making a speech we could not understand." I need to read a little bit above that. I remember them talking about the trade being brass rings, glass beads, and bells, and told him to see what he could do. That's not much that they were trading for. It really doesn't seem like there were many things involved in that trade, which tells us that that trade was meager is the way they describe it. And meager means small or not enough. So if something is meager, means you have a small amount of it or maybe not enough of it. And the sample sentence says, "The diners were disappointed by the meager servings at the restaurant," meaning that restaurant gave them very small portions. They did not get enough food. They were disappointed by that. Go ahead and write your own sentence with good context in it as you pause the video. Good, I'm doing good? All right, good.
You're doing good.
All right, and our last word is the word pompous, and it is an adjective found on page 84. And it says, "Columbus stood by looking pompous and arrogant as he waited, but the interpreter with us turned pale and began to shake. He told the captain to go back to the Santa Maria at once, that they were planning to kill us." Now, I don't know that there's a lot of detail we can go back and think about in the text what Columbus was like. I think that as it says pompous and arrogant, that gives us a bit of a clue. If he was arrogant, that means he was kind of full of himself. He sort of believed that he was always right. He could do no wrong. And so that might tell us a little bit about what pompous means. I think it's very similar to that. And it means that he's pretentious, self-important, or arrogant. So like I said, he he thinks a lot of himself. He thinks he's pretty cool. He thinks he should just get to take everything, which you find out a little bit more later in the text with his actions, that he just sort of goes to land and he says, "This is mine. I'm taking this." That's something that someone pompous or arrogant would do. And the sample sentence says, "The pompous king took the stage and demanded applause from the audience." So if he makes the audience applaud him, "You must applaud me," that makes him very pompous. So go ahead and please write your own sentence with the word pompous as you pause the video now. Oh, good one again? Okay. All right, my last one. After vocabulary, you're going to get to your write in response to reading. And this was a little bit of a tricky question, so I want to make sure I give you some explanation of it. It says to use details from the book to write an informative paragraph explaining how characters' motivations help develop the theme or message of the text. So we want to look at the characters' motivation. So what are they motivated by? And I think with Columbus, we figure out that he's really motivated by wealth and by taking land or taking things for himself. He doesn't care what gets in his way or who gets in his way. So you would be able to explain maybe in your informative paragraph that his motivations are to just go take things regardless of if they belong to him or not. And that lets us know a little bit about the theme, and you should be able to determine some things about the theme of the text, and maybe it's that you shouldn't act in that way, but really we won't figure out the total theme maybe until the end of the text because we're not quite there yet. So do your best in coming up with an answer to this question. Give some motivations and give some actions from the text that may let you know what the theme or message of the story is. Thanks so much for joining me today. Hopefully you're having a great day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Good job. Good.